I'm going to discuss every part of the bill. This section is about deregistration from special school, or if you've got a child protection order or a child protection assessment currently happening. Under section 24 of the bill, it says that the local authority must decide without undue delay whether to grant consent, and must, and this must is a really important word, refuse consent if the local authority considers that 1, it would be in the child's best interests to receive education by regular attendance at school, or 2, there is no suitable arrangements that have been made for the education of the child otherwise than at school. Okay, let's delve into that. So currently, if you're in special school, you need to provide information to the local authority about how you will meet their special needs, because the local authority have a duty to meet needs if the parent can't, for example, if they're in school. So by providing that information, you're giving the local authority the information to end their need to provide. This allows the local authority, despite you telling them how you're going to meet the child's needs, so this gives the local authority the chance to decide what's right for your child, despite you knowing your child best. It gives them parental rights, basically. You are relying on somebody that's never met your child to make a decision of what's in their best interests. School could be saying, yes, we can meet their needs. Yes, the child is happy. But that might not be the truth. Some schools are unscrupulous, special schools, where they're getting funding for the child and they really want that funding to continue, and by pulling your child out, that funding stops. Or they might truly believe they're meeting your child's needs, but back home, that's not the case. They're melting down or whatever from having a bad day at school. So to give the local authority the ability that they must refuse if they decide it's not in the child's best interest, it's a step too far. It talks about no suitable arrangements have been made for the education. That's different to actually identifying what the child's needs are and explaining how you're going to meet their needs. I truly believe that this section relating to deregistration from special school is not required. Now, in regards to having a child protection plan or a child protection assessment, these same rules apply. So the local authority can decide what's in your child's best interests, even if that child protection plan is because there's a problem at school, or an external situation that's not relating to your home. It still gives the local authority a duty that they should not have. If there are legitimate concerns about a child's safety, there are things they can currently do. They can go for school attendance orders or emergency orders, but to be able to stop you from deregistering on what they consider your child's best interests, it's unacceptable. Yes, protections need to be in place, but this wording is wrong, it's invasive, and it removes parental rights. One slight good element is that it says it must otherwise grant consent. That should hopefully, that little line, stop local authorities refusing consent from special school for all the random reasons that they currently use. Most cases are overturned once they get support, but people shouldn't be going through that. So that line is pretty helpful. It also states any other parent of the child in relation to the local authority providing information or expecting information from. There are no protections here about parents that are absent from their child's lives or are a risk to the child's life. It's relying on secondary legislation maybe to determine what the any other parent would entail. It's relying on schools, local authorities to decide whether another parent should be involved. Again, wording is really important. So just to say any other parent of the child, that could cause serious harm to many children. It goes on to state, and this is a section we really hope will be removed. If a subsequent application is made in relation to a relevant child, blah blah blah, the authority is only required to make a new decision if a period of 6 months has elapsed since the date of the previous application. So if you apply now, you say, I want to home educate, and they say, no, it's not in your child's best interests, you cannot ask again for 6 months. Even if school becomes a dangerous place for your child, even if school can no longer meet their needs, anything could happen in that 6 months. Section 12 gives an automatic no within 6 months. That is really dangerous. That has to be removed. And the only way these edits will happen is if you write to your MP, and don't just write to your MP, you have to do it as well as to the scrutiny committee. Details are on the Educational Freedom website on how to do this, and raise these concerns at how those few sections are extremely dangerous to children and will provide no protection. If a child is at risk on a child protection plan, or just a child in need, the Home Ed department, once the child is deregistered, can access these records. They can see if a child is at risk. They can get involved. The social workers can get involved. There is nothing stopping them getting an emergency order if the child should be back in school. So the current legislation works. These new rules would do harm to children and potentially put children at risk.